My name is Alejandro. I use he, him pronouns. And let's see, visual descriptors. I am a light-skinned Black person with curly hair, a beard. I'm wearing a black shirt. There's books behind me and a white wall. I'm going to be reading from my chapbook of fiction, short stories, You're the Only Friend I Need, from a story called You're the Only Friend I Need. All you need to know is that there's two young people meeting up to go to a party later on in the night. They wait at La Cafeteria Colonial, order one coffee to share, negro con azúcar. Fabio drinks most of it and talks ardently about the cafe. It is famous for hosting some of the nation's most illustrious minds. Painters, writers, even revolutionaries met here in their youth, as far back as the 1930s. Men who would later become leaders of the pueblo and enemies of the nation's authoritarian elite. All these heroes strung together by the coffee he drinks from now. Fabio's favorite poet is Pedro Mir. It's rumored that the writer once sang his most famous poem here, that the walls of the cafeteria were filled with lament about the tierra, the sad old country. I bet he's a maricon too, Fabio whispers into Noel's ear to avoid the curious eyes of the other customers. The only thing Fabio loves more than the great Dominican poets is twisting their poetry to create queer alternatives of their lives. Mir isn't sad about the country. He's sad because he's not getting fucked. Cartagena Portalatin writes about una mujer sola, not because of the great social burden placed on Dominican women, but because she's a raging lesbian. The dream she writes about is finding another woman eloping under the Caribbean sky. Even Salome, founding mother of Dominican letters, is subject to his queer reconstruction of history. Why do you think she started that school for all girls? You're sick, Noel says, rolls his eyes, but he laughs. Their minds are what draws them together. They're not particularly excellent at school. Fabio gets better grades because he can focus last minute to pass a test. But for the most part, they go unnoticed by the teachers and the few students who compete to get good grades. Rather, it's their curious obsessions that bind them. Noel with his facts about the solar system, Fabio with his queering of Dominican poets. Even if they don't know little about each other's interests, they listen to and entertain each other's fantasies. And of course, there is a secret that everybody knows, but no one braves themselves to say. They've never had serious girlfriends, not anything of significance in any way. No relationship status could hide their mannerisms, their walk, the way they hold their hands, how their eyes roll to the back of their heads when they're annoyed. Far too flamboyant to not be noticed, especially Fabio. When Noel is shy, Fabio is unapologetic and exuberant. Any attempt to justify these mannerisms was thrown out the window in 9th grade when Fabio got into a fist fight with one of the popular girls in school. Maricon, she called him, back when that word was still a fresh wound. After Fabio's fight, there was no question. Fabio was a girl fighting Maricon, and Noel, by association, was Maricon adjacent, far too close to be considered straight. Not so long ago, there were boys playing baseball in the street, raging against some inner beast, or not resisting at all, taken over by its might. The wrath of boyhood, a scream, a belch, unabashed laughter, the soles of their naked feet slapping the concrete, a bloody knuckle crushed against another's cheekbone, a bruised lip, a cutting joke, a chorus of arguments. And when alone or coupled, a sudden gentleness, protection when needed, like showing up to a friend's fight just in case. The ever-present shyness in front of girls, in front of teachers, in front of the mirror facing their naked bodies. Skinny or fat or too small or too big or smooth or growing hair. Each day something new. The fear of jumping but jumping anyway, even if only to impress. They were everything, boys. Now look at them. Girls are adjacent to them. Girly boys, maybe, gliding through the streets of Santo Domingo, protected by the night. soft as feathers, quick as shadows, hiding, but filled with a gust of pride for everything they've made of themselves, what they've managed to take from the corner of the mind or a dream, a fantasy materialized. Thank you.